Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 5-Day Writers Challenge, How to Open Your Creative Channels, where you'll get tips to help you overcome your writer's block and get into your creative flow state even faster. I'm Rachel. I'm a freelance writer and a writing coach, and I'm also the host of the Facebook group Destined to Write.
And I'm Alicia. I'm a mom, a business owner, a writer, and a life coach. I have a self-help book coming out in May this year for moms who are struggling with mommy guilt. And we created this 5-day course to debunk the myths of writer's block and to help you open up the creative channel. We are also going to have bonuses that we offer at the end of this course to join our writing collective, or creative writing collective.
And when Alicia says debunk the myths about writer's block, we're in no way saying that writer's block does not exist. I have been part of groups where people have said, it's not a thing and you just need to get over it. And if you don't get over it, you're not really a writer, or you don't want to be a writer enough. What we're saying is that writer's block is a symptom. It's not the disease. So we want to get down to the nitty gritty, the root cause of what's causing your writer's block. And then we'll find effective ways to work through it.
Yeah, I've always said that I have been a writer since birth. And I really started writing at 7 years old on a Post-it note. And when I was 16, I wrote a book that I thought was good enough to publish. When I was 25, I published my book. And when I wasn't like instantly J.K. Rowling or Anne Rice, who were my two favorite authors at the time, I created this I'm not good enough belief around my writing. And so I had all these like super sexy excuses about, well, I have a business now. And so when you have a business, there's always something to do in that business. So I don't have time to write. And then I became a mom. So then I for sure don't have time to write. When all along the whole time, it was like, it was really just this fear that I had developed, this limiting belief I had created about my unmet expectations for the book that I published. So after hiring a life coach, I figured that out. I remember the day that I told her I wanted, when I was growing in our Mary Kay business, and they would always ask us like, what did you want to be when you were a little girl? And my limiting belief was so strong, and my brain was protecting me so much that I didn't even have access to the fact that I wanted to be a writer ever since I was little. I used to tell people I wanted to be Amy Grant. I didn't want to sing her. I wanted to be Amy Grant. Well, that doesn't help when they're trying to get you in touch with like what your passion is, right? So that's how these blocks show up, and how they can manifest and into your life. And so, and now I kind of lost my train of thought, but started working with a life coach. I remembered, I wanted to be a writer when I was little. And I started getting back into writing, and I did certain things to force myself to write. I applied for a job that made me a writer. And, I had a lot of blocks that I had to work through. And since doing some of these tools that we're going to teach you, I've opened the creative channel, and I couldn't close it now if I wanted to. So that's my story about my limiting belief, unmet expectations created this 10-year-long writer's block. And then I wrote this book for moms in about 6 months. The editing, and it just flew out. I don't even think it took 6 months. I think been maybe 7 months since I started writing it. And a lot of that process has been the editing process, which is a whole nother animal.
It's true. I get writer's block myself sometimes, whether it's creative writing or fiction writing or freelance writing. And it takes a moment. You have to like really dig deep, not just go, yeah, I'm experiencing writer's block. Now I have to get over it. It's like, why are you experiencing it? Because then you're going to create something, a tool that will help you overcome the writer's block because you're dealing with the root cause. So for instance, in my case, if I'm sitting down and doing client work and it's not flowing at all, I have to look at, did I get enough sleep last night? Am I feeling insecure because of, I don't know a lot about this topic? Am I feeling insecure because this client and I didn't have a good interaction the last time I talked to them? And all of that, even that is could still be symptoms. So to get it even deeper, like, well, why am I feeling insecure about that? And so digging deep and getting to the root cause is going to help us take some action. So like in my case with the freelance writing, if I have the time, I might need a nap. That might be what I need to help, when I wake up from that and feel refreshed, then the flow might be there. If I'm feeling insecure, then I might have to do a little bit of journaling and figure out what's going on with that. But the thing to remember is that just if you're starting out, or if you've been doing this forever, you can still have those fears arise. There's this great book, I cannot remember the name of it. I will put the name of it in the comments for this video, but it's about women mainly, but imposter syndrome. And some of the examples they gave were Meryl Streep, Kate Winslet, there are a couple of others, but these are like award-winning actresses. And when they get a part, they still go, why did I get this part? They're going to find out I'm a fraud. They're going to find out I'm not good enough. And so there's these deep-seated fears that we have that we need to figure out what they are so that we can overcome them. And even if we have them in the future when we become the next J.K. Rowling, we still won't let it get in our way. We'll be able to have the tools to overcome that. So today's tools that we're going to talk about are writing prompts. And the reason I like a writing prompt is, well, there's two reasons. It usually gets me out of my own head, like the whole idea of you can't see the forest for the trees. So if you're in your head and you're like, I have writer's block, I have writer's block, I have writer's block, it's like really to overcome that is really difficult. So getting a writer's prompt from another person, from an online source, from your writers group or something like that, helps you get out of your own head and try and approach things from a different perspective. And then again, besides getting out of your own head, it gets you out of your comfort zone as well, because some of the writer's prompts that someone will give you maybe is something that you never would have attempted to write before because it was maybe a little bit scary or maybe not quite your cup of tea. So that's why I appreciate writing prompts. They kind of shake things up a bit and shake the writer's block loose a little bit so that the creative channels start opening.
Yeah, and so today, our goal for today is we want you to do about 15 minutes of journaling and really try to dig deep into like, what is it that's holding you back? So, answer that question, what's holding me back? And, if your answer is, well, I don't have time. Okay, but why don't you have time? It's not about having time, it's about making time, right? So after everything that you write down, ask yourself why. And then we want to encourage you to use pen to paper instead of keyboard to Word document or what you're using, because pen to paper just has a totally different, I'm sure there's psychological reasons behind it that I can't think of, off the top of my head, but, pen to paper, when I was in, writing class at 17 years old, my teacher would say, journal the pen until the timer has come up. And even if you're writing, I don't know what to write. Well, answer the question. So what is it that's holding you back? What are your sexy excuses that you're to not sit down and write? And then continue to ask yourself why until you figure out the root cause. And then we want you to share some of your aha moments, if you have any. And then we each have a writing prompt for you. I have a fiction writing prompt, and Rachel has a nonfiction writing prompt. So our fiction writing prompt comes from a really cool book that I found. And this is a mystery prompt. So I'm not a mystery writer, so this is going to be, kind of new and exciting to me. If you are a mystery writer, then lucky you. So the prompt is: a woman asks a writer to write the story of her life, and then she goes missing.
Juicy. Love it. So my prompt is for the nonfiction writers out there, although I don't want to limit you guys. So if you are a fiction writer and you like the nonfiction prompt, go for it. Vice versa for the nonfiction writers. So the nonfiction prompt is: think of one lesson that you learned today or in the past week, and then explain it to someone else in writing. You're going to outline the problem, the solution, and how you came up with that solution.
This is literally what my blog is about. Like, is creating these like little life lessons that I learn through everyday things, mostly through my son, because there's so much wisdom in children that I've just been picking out and putting into blog posts. So that's kind of fun too.
Yeah. So we encourage you to take at least 15 minutes if you can for the journaling exercise, and 15 minutes for the writing prompt as well, just so that you can give yourself more than a second. Because if you're experiencing writer's block right now and you sit down to write and you get like discouraged within a few minutes, you're not going to want to do anything else. But just sit with it for at least 15 minutes. And even with the prompts, even if you've done the journaling exercise and you think you've figured it out, and then you go to sit down and do the writing prompts and you're like, nothing's happening, write about that. Just write, I'm supposed to be writing about a lesson I learned today and I can't think of anything, and this is really frustrating, and why am I doing this challenge? And just keep writing. Like Alicia said, don't take the pen off the paper for the 15 minutes, and just give yourself that time. Something will come out of it, even if it's not a story, a creative story, or even if it's not a potential blog post. It could give you more insight into your writer's blog, and also into how you are communicating with yourself about your writing. So that is the tips.
Especially if you're over there thinking this first draft has to be perfect. Is it Rachel that says you can't edit a blank page? Like, I need.
Exactly. So we encourage you to set aside that time for yourself. And also, please let us know if you do have any aha moments in the comments for this video. And yeah, we want this to be completely interactive. So we will be responding to your comments. If you have any questions too, please feel free to put them in the comments and we will respond to them.
Absolutely. So we're here to support you in any way that we can. So we're looking forward to spending the next 5 days with you and beyond.
Oh, did we let them know about the bonuses?
We didn't tell them about exactly what the bonus is just yet, because we're gonna tell them exactly what we're offering at the end of the 5 days.
Keep it a secret. Keep you all interested. We're gonna have an air of mystery here. Awesome. So I wish you guys happy writing, and I hope that you will stay with us for the next 5 days. And like I said, this is totally interactive. So we look forward to hearing what you guys have to say, and we will see you tomorrow.
Absolutely. Bye. All right. Bye.